Dear students, this is for class 12th and start this lecture number 3rd of this topic, the enemy. Chapter number 4 of our book is page number 26. The fisherman, perhaps Shadow, said, washed from his boat. He ran quickly down the steps, and behind him Hannah came, her white sleeves flying, a smile or two away on either side. There were fishing ladies, but there was only the bare and lonely coast, dangerous with rocks. The surf beyond the beach was speckled with rocks. Somehow the man had managed to come through them. He must be badly torn. They saw when they came toward him that indeed it was so. The sound on one side of him had already a stain of red soaking through. He is wounded, Shadow exclaimed. He made haste to the man who lay motionless, his face in the sand, and an old cap stuck to his head, soaked with sea water. He was in wet rags of garment. Shadow stopped Hannah at his side and turned the man's head. They saw the face. A white man, Hannah whispered. Yes, it was a white man. The wet cap fell away, and there was his wet yellow hair, long as though for many weeks it had not been cut, and upon his young and tortured face was a rough yellow beard. He was unconscious and knew nothing that they did for him. Now Shadow remembered the wound, and with his expert fingers he began to search for it. Blood flowed freshly at his touch. On the right side of his lower back, Shadow saw that a gun wound had been opened. The flesh was blackened with powder. Sometime not many days ago, the man had been shot and had not been tended. It was bad chance that the rock had struck the wound. Oh, how he is bleeding, Hannah whispered again in a slow voice. The mist screened them now completely, and at this time of day no one came by. The fisherman had gone home, and even the chance beachcombers would have considered the day at an end. What shall we do with this man? Shadow muttered, but the stranded hand seemed of their own will to be doing what they could do. Such the fearful breathing, he packed the wound with the sea mouse that strewed the beach. The man moaned with pain in his stopper, but he did not waken. The best thing that we could do would be to put him back in the sea, Shadow said, answering himself. The surf beyond the beach was specked with rocks. The man might be badly hurt. They found the man wounded. Hannah realized that it was a white man. The fellow was young and unconscious. The man was bleeding profusely. Shadow saw that a blood wound had already opened. Shadow packed the wound with the sea moss. The man managed with pain, but he did not waken. Shadow wanted to throw the man back into the sea, as he had now realized that he was an American prisoner of war. Hannah also agreed. Shadow knew that giving shelter to the enemy would get them into trouble. He was torn between his moral duty as a doctor, which urged him to save the dying man, and his national duty, which required handing him over to the army as a patriot. Both Hannah and Shadow finally decided to take the man home, as he was in need of urgent medical attention. Thank you, it is all for today.